My name is Muzammil Ahmed, and today I will be discussing storm surges in the Arabian Sea. We have three types of storms: hurricanes, cyclones, and typhoons. They all mean the same thing. We just use different terms for them in different regions. In the Atlantic and Northeast Pacific region, we use the term hurricanes. In the Northwest Pacific, we call them typhoons, and cyclones are called in the South Pacific and Indian Ocean. When speeds of a storm reach approximately 39 miles per hour, it is classified as a tropical storm. When speeds reach 74 miles per hour, the storm is called a cyclone or hurricane. Tropical storms are classified in 5 different categories. Category 1 consists of wind speeds of 75 miles to 95 miles per hour with minimal damage, and storm surges, which is how high a tide is coming, of approximately 4 to 5 feet. A Category 5 will have wind speeds of 155 miles per hour with catastrophic damage and tides of 18 or more feet high. Tropical storms are formed with warm, moist air over the ocean as it rises to the surface. Because this air moves up and away from the surface, there is less air left near the surface. Another way to say the same thing is that the warm air rises, causing an area of lower pressure below. Air from surrounding areas with higher pressure pushes in to the low pressure area. Then that new air becomes warm and moist and rises too. As the warm air continues to rise, the surrounding air swirls in to take its place. As the warm to moist air rises and cools off, the water in the air forms clouds. The whole system of clouds and wind spins and grows, fed by ocean's heat and water evaporating from the surface. Storms that form north of the equator spin counterclockwise. Storms south of the equator spin clockwise. This difference is because of the Earth's rotation on its axis. As the storm system rotates faster and faster, an eye forms in the center. A tropical storm has 3 major parts: the eye wall, and rain bands. The eye of a tropical storm is very calm with low air pressure. Wind speeds will be approximately 15 miles per hour. The inner diameter of the eye can be anywhere between 20 to 40 miles wide. An eye will form when wind speeds are 75 miles or more. It is very calm and clear in the eye with very low air pressure. Higher pressure from above will flow down into the eye. The eye wall is the outer layer. It is the strongest part of the tropical storm. Changes here will reflect the speed of the storm. Rain bands are the outermost part of the storm. Rain bands are curved bands that will produce strong bursts of rain and winds. It is said that if you go in between each one, you will see water under the rain band, and in between the 2 rain bands you will not have any water, just a little bit of wind, as they would say. It is not clear why the Bay of Bengal experiences the most storm surges. However, scientists have narrowed it down to the possible reasons of shallow water, merging of the bay, great astronomical tides, low-lying islands, favorable tracks for cyclones, and infinite number of inlets containing the world's prevalent river system, Ganga, Brahmaputra, Meghna, which is right here as shown in the picture. This river actually connects to the ocean and within the land quite a few times. There's a major opening right here between Bangladesh and Burma, which is also Malaysia. One of the most recent tropical storms with the great damage was Cyclone Nargis. This storm made landfall in early May of 2008. on April 27th. Just before it made landfall, India's meteorology department declared it to be a tropical depression. A depression forms when a low-pressure area is accompanied by thunderstorms that produce a circular wind flow with maximum sustained winds below 39 miles per hour. Most tropical depressions have maximum sustained winds between 25 and 35 miles per hour. It is known to be the deadliest storm since 1991. It has been ranked number 2 for the most dangerous storms killing 138,366 people. Over 1 million people became homeless and 260,000 lived in camps. Because of the severity and the path it took, Cyclone Nargis destroyed about 50,000 acres of crops, causing a food shortage. A stronger storm called Typhoon Haiyan made landfall in 2013 in the Philippines, affecting approximately 13 million people. Typhoon Haiyan killed 6,340 people and causing $3 billion of damages. Winds were measured to be 147 to 171 miles per hour, with tides reaching 25 feet. This storm went from the Philippines and struck parts of southern China. As you can see in the diagram, it started off in the Philippines, moved its way, went over Cambodia, Thailand, and Laos, and a little bit of China, kind of where Laos and China meet. This diagram also shows how it transitioned from a strong wind or strong hurricane all the way down to a not so severe but also devastating tropical storm. Although Typhoon Haiyan and Cyclone Nargis were known to be very dangerous, in 1970, Cyclone Bola made landfall in eastern Pakistan and Bangladesh. It was categorized as a Category 3, killing approximately 500,000 people. Winds were measured to be 115 miles per hour, and this was the 6th cyclone of the year within that region, and it made its way to being the deadliest storm in history. However, it was not the strongest. Cyclone Bola caused $490 million of damages, and approximately 85% of the property that it passed through was demolished. Even this the storm was not the strongest, but it did cause quite a bit of damage. There was a storm in 1991 that made landfall. Its speeds were 160 miles per hour and was categorized as a Category 5, but again, Cyclone Bola is known to be the deadliest up until today. For better prediction, nonprofit and government organizations have invested in better satellites. First modern-day prediction system was installed by the National Ocean Service in the 20th century. Because of advanced satellites, governments can predict accurate weather patterns and declare emergency evacuations 24 hours before a storm makes landfall. When it comes to natural disasters, search and rescues are very important, as well as establishing living quarters and clean water. Organizations such as the United Nations with the 193 nations are always ready to assist in emergency evacuations, search and rescue, along with basic aid. Some of the key players are the US, Great Britain, Russia, and Canada. The US has US Agency for International Development, which consists of the US Navy for search and rescues. Natural disasters can never be easy. Issues that are hard to find solutions to is finding and creating safe environments for vaccinations and containment zones. Vaccines and medications need to be in a climate-controlled room. After a tropical storm, weather temperature changes constantly, which can cause vaccines to go bad. Running water is also an issue when the country's water lines are damaged in the storm. Without clean water, there is a higher chance of infections and diseases to be spread.